Welcome back to Educator.com. This lesson is on MATLAB desktop and shell of MATLAB programming. MATLAB has extremely powerful help function that you can use. For example, if you want to have some more information on a function, for example plot, you can just type help plot and it will bring you a lot of information on how to use that function and how different changes can make a difference in your function. If you're serious about learning MATLAB, make it your priority to work through MATLAB Help features. Even if you know a command or feature, it does not hurt to skim through MATLAB Help. It is always useful to learn new features. MATLAB Desktop contains a few tools. We already have used the command window. On the right, you can see the workspace, all the scalars, arrays, symbols, and any other variables that you define or used other than predefined values like pi or epsilon can be seen and edited in this window. Underneath workspace, you have a history of commands that you used or entered in the command line, and you can navigate through them by up arrow key, which is called a smarter call, or you can just move it up and down here. On the left, you have the current folder, which is the default directory where your M files are stored. We will talk about M files in this session. You can resize or undock any of the windows or sub windows that you want. So for example, you can just undock it and have it in a different window, and you can easily put it back or dock it by using dock from its view menu. Now we're going to talk about sample program that you can find in MATLAB. We already seen how we can execute commands by entering them in the MATLAB prompt. So you can just easily do something like this. However, there are problems that MATLAB cannot solve in one line. A collection of statements to solve more complicated problems is called a program. We are going to work on a couple of programs without getting too much into details. From MATLAB toolbar up here, choose New Script. It will bring you a new scratch pad and an untitled window in Editor Debugger. Now type exactly as what I'm writing. So x start from 0 over 100 to 10 times pi. Then type plot x exponential of sqrt x times dot times sine x, and then r, and add grid on. Now select these lines, Ctrl C, copy them, and then paste them in MATLAB command line. Okay, as you see, this execution of these commands will lead to a plot. In this example, we use a new untitled file in the editor as a scratchpad, but you can do more than that. Suppose you want to calculate your total balance in your bank account after certain interest is added to it. Open a new script and type as follows. So balance equals to 1000. Rate is 0.09. Interest equals to balance times rate. New balance would be balance plus interest. Then type display new balance and then display balance. Copy this and paste it in MATLAB. So as you see, new balance is shown as 1090. You can also save your program and give it a name. And you can do it by typing function and the name that you want. For example, let's call it interest calc and put an end at the end of your program. Now just save it and interest calc. Now you can run it either by using run button here. Okay, now you run it and new balance is shown, or you can run it by typing interest calc on command window. Remember, when you want to run a program from a certain location, you need to provide access to that location to MATLAB. It can easily be done either by pushing run and pushing add the current directory or through MATLAB desktop. Now let's see how a program works. Go to your program. MATLAB is technically called an interpreter as opposed to a compiler. This means that each statement presented to the command line is translated or interpreted into language that computer understands better and then immediately carried out. So what happens is, first the value 1000 is put into variable balance. Then the number 0.09 put into variable rate. Multiply the content of balance and rate and put the answer into interest. Add the contents of balance to the contents of interest and put the answer in balance. Display in the command window the message given in single quote. Display the content of balance since we don't have the single quote. It hardly seems necessary to stress it, but these interpreted statements are carried out in order from top down. When the program has finished running, the variable used will have the new values of balance 1090, interest is 90, and rate is 0.09 since we haven't changed it. And notice that the original value balance is lost. You can change the balance value and run it again. As an exercise, try to rewrite this program and do it in a way that the original value balance will be saved. Thanks for being with us. This was another session brought to you by Educator.com.